You've probably heard someone say, always dye your leather while it's wet, it absorbs better. But is that actually true? Or just one of those tips people repeat without questioning? Today, I'm going to be putting that to the test. We're going to dye 2 pieces of leather, one wet, one dry, and compare the results side by side. I'm using Angelus's alcohol-based dye, the turquoise color, which can behave a little differently than oil-based options, but we'll cover that in a different video. Let's find out once and for all, is wetting your leather before dyeing worth it, or just a waste of time? First, I'm going to go ahead and label the back of these just so I know which one is which. Let's start with the dry piece. This is where the debate usually gets loud. Some people swear by dyeing leather dry. They say it looks better and dries faster. Others think it ends up blotchy and uneven. Personally, I've heard both arguments, but never seen a clear answer. I'll apply the dye like I normally would, no pre-wetting, and just make sure it's fully saturated in dye. Now it's time for the wet leather. I'm soaking this one down, like actually wet, so there's no question if it's hydrated. The theory here is that the water helps the dye spread more evenly across the surface and it avoids the patchiness. Makes sense, in theory. The dye going on looks smoother, but we'll see what happens when it starts to dry. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes. And looking at the dry piece, it looks like it curled up like a pepperoni on a pizza. It's also almost completely dry and ready to go. The wet piece, on the other hand, is still damp, but the color is noticeably different. It looks darker, richer, a little more vibrant. Could just be the moisture though. So I'm going to go ahead and give this another 30 minutes and then we'll check up on it and see where we are. Okay, so it's been about another 30 minutes, so 1 hour in total. And honestly, not much has changed. The wet one is still damp and the dry piece still looks like it's just curled up and completely dried and ready to go. So I'm gonna let both of these sit overnight for the final comparison. So I'm gonna go ahead and check in with you guys again tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. Both pieces are fully dry and the results are pretty surprising. The wet dyed leather turned into this bright turquoise blue, and the dry dyed leather leaned more greenish blue, what I'd personally call a more classic turquoise. Both look good, but the difference in color is definitely substantial. Coverage wise, they're about the same on these small samples. That could change on larger pieces, but in this test, neither one came out streaky or patchy. So what's the final verdict? The wet leather dye comes out lighter, brighter, and more vibrant, and the dry leather looks like the colors are darker, deeper, and more saturated. Honestly, it's just a matter of what you're going for. Again, this is using Angelus's alcohol-based dye. If you're using an oil-based dye, the results might be a little different, and I'll be testing that in an upcoming video, so definitely subscribe if you want to catch that. I hope this helped you make a more informed choice next time you're working on a project. Check out my handmade leather goods at puredleather.com. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.